What's good? What's good? What's going on, world? Once again, it's your main man, the co-host of Thoughts of a Brother, Derek Arundel. Today, the long-anticipated wait is over. The drum major is here. I will be sharing drum major with you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the process of putting it together. Also, as much as I've enjoyed the process of the journey of drum major for myself in general. To give you a little background on the drum major first, I explained to you how I first encountered drum major. Drum major for me is not so much of the actual leader of the band. It's more of a conceptualization I came to after I heard a sermon by Dr. King. Dr. Martin Luther King delivered a sermon called The Drum Major Instinct. Inside the sermon, and I was a young boy the first time I heard it. I had to be 8 or 9. But I knew when I heard the speech back then at 8 or 9 that at some point in my life, I would revisit that speech again. Or the speech, to be honest with you, when I heard the speech at 8 or 9, I knew it was directed at me. Call it egotistical, whatever you want to. I knew the speech was directed at me. I heard it. I could hear it. It was something in me related enough to know that is directed towards you. You may not believe that. You may choose to disagree with it. That's fine. I'm just explaining to you my true feelings. And I'll go on. The next time I heard the speech, and I would hear it again often on and off again throughout life from 8 and 9 up into the ripe age of 30. But at 30, I'll never forget it. It was a time in my life where I was all over the place. Things were, I guess you could say, out of hand. Things were, I was dealing with a eternal struggle inside myself. I was dealing with my own issues. I didn't really know what I wanted out of life, so I couldn't give anybody anything else from myself that was productive in their own lives. I had became a shell of Derek. I wasn't Derek. I had something happen. A transition happened in me that I didn't even realize over time that Derek did not exist anymore. It was Derek in the flesh. It was Derek in the visible sense. But the person inside wasn't Derek anymore. The person inside didn't know who he was. That's the funny thing about it. The person inside didn't know who he was. And I didn't know that then. I didn't know that. And that was a struggle for me. I just came back from Iraq. I had that. Dealing with that. I had just and we all have issues. So I'm not trying to individualize or magnify mine. At the end of the day, we all have issues, and I understand that. But inside of me explaining mine to you, I relay it to you in a manner so you can understand my walk and why I felt like I related so much to the drum major, the instinct that Dr. King so eloquently delivered in his sermon. Back to my point. Because I told you I do it. I go off on a tangent. And like I said, I don't mind those tangents. Because those are the times where I'm expressing myself. And I found to be the most impactful thing I can commit to. Anything I do in life is being totally committed and giving my all to it. And if those tangents are me giving my all into my explanation, I'm down for that. And I'm going to do it every chance I get. So, getting out of the tangent and moving on to drum major, I will say this. I heard the speech again in 2009. At the time when I heard the speech, as I said, I was conflicted. I had a lot going on with myself. And most importantly, at the time when I heard the speech, I was inebriated. I was drunk. I was intoxicated. All three of those words, put them together. Inebriated, drunk, intoxicated. I was all of that. Alcohol had took control of my life at this point. I was totally consumed by alcohol. I sought alcohol for comfort, basically, and that's a bad place to be where you you seek something for comfort that is detrimental to you. And that's where I was. That's where I was in life. And it had become my answer to every question, my answer to every wrong I made, my answer to every right I couldn't make because it was in the way. It became all of that. It became me in my own way, basically, period, point blank. But I was drunk and I was listening to it, and it was in 2009. I'll never forget. I was listening to it, and I heard it again, and it was, and then at that point I knew what I heard years ago at 8 or 9. I knew what I heard. And I also knew that I wasn't going to drink anymore. I knew then in that moment that I would never drink again. Now, it's so impactful for me to explain it in this manner because I had been drinking on and off, and it had got worse at this point. But I had for 16 years now, and I was a young man. I was 30 years old. So we saying at 15. I started at 15. Now, granted, it was like any other teenage kid. You drink just because it's something to do. But as time progressed for me, I found drinking to be my refuge. Like if things went wrong for me, I drink. So now it went from me just drinking on the weekends as I got 20 and 23, 24, for me to drinking on the weekends to me drinking just because. Because when I drink, it clears out all the troubles I have. So it took total control of my life. Total control. It was my beginning and my end. I woke up drinking, I went to sleep drinking. That was the only way I knew how. It had became to that point for me, and it was detrimental. It was detrimental to me, and it was detrimental to everyone around me. And it took me a long time to figure that out. But what did initiate me coming out of that funk? Besides the fact of, I always say this, and I tell people this all the time. There's certain things God give you, and there's certain things that you have, that you possess, that you have acquired through your intrinsic belief in something. Those things nobody can take from you. Absolutely nobody. Nobody can take those from you. Those things, now there are things that I went out and acquired for myself. I can't show you where they're at now. I don't have them today. Period. I don't. But everything that God gave me and that I intrinsically believed in, strong enough to have, and that was good for me, I still have today. The one thing that was put up to the test of me losing inside of me drinking was my family, and that's when the choice was pretty much easy for me. I will say, and most people say, "Well, easy." Yeah, it was easy. It was easy. It's nothing more greater for me on this side of this world, on this side of reality, or whatever you want to call it, than family. And I had my own, and I was on the verge of losing it. And this speech, the sermon, reflected that inside of me at this moment, and I understood I had to stop. And I heard this in 2009. I haven't taken a drink since that day. I haven't taken a drink, and I've been sober now for 5 years. I don't talk about this much. It surprises me now that I'm going there, but I want you to understand my struggle. I want you to understand my walk, because like I say all the time, I understand everybody has issues. My issues are not, just in bigger than anyone else's or greater than anyone else's, and I don't want to put them on that manner. I don't want to magnify them like that. I just want to point out to you who I am, so you can understand why I say the things I do, why I believe what I believe, and how good what I say, or not what I say, how good I feel in the belief of me having a God that supplies these things for me. Now, you don't have to believe that. That's okay. Whatever is supplying, whatever it is you have, that's fine. If it's you yourself, that's good too. I don't have a problem with that. I never had a problem with that. I never will have a problem with that. I just want you to understand this is my makeup and this is my understanding. And inside of that understanding, this is how I got to this point. Now, in sharing in that, I want you to understand, and this is be the end before I go into the drum major, because I really have to get this in here. For 16 years of that journey I explained earlier, before I heard this and I decided to stop drinking, and I've been sober for 5 years, I brushed my teeth every morning. Every morning I got up and I brushed my teeth. I did this habitually. I mean, I think we all do. Some people even at night and maybe twice after they eat. I don't know. I did it every morning I got up. I brushed my teeth. And as with anyone else, when we brush our teeth in the morning, it's in front of a mirror, usually in a bathroom. In 2009, when I became sober, I brushed my teeth one day, and I looked in the mirror. It was the first time I had looked in the mirror since I was 9 years old, when I first originally heard Drum Major. I hadn't looked in the mirror for all those years, or for 16 of those years. Now, the last time I can equate in my memory of looking in the mirror was when I heard Drum Major the first time. Now, coming back to that, I didn't remember. I know for a fact I didn't look in the mirror at all for the whole 16 years of my struggle. I know that. I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, because it scared the hell out of me in 2009 when I looked in the mirror and I said, "Hey, Derek." I had never even referred to myself as Derek in 16 years. I got mad when someone called me Derek, because I wasn't Derek. I was Disco. I was Skeet. I was whatever nickname it was of the hour. I was him. I wasn't the person I really was. And understanding that today, it brings a great joy into me, because for 16 years I couldn't even look at myself. So how did I expect anyone else to accept what they were seeing? How could I expect you to accept what you're seeing, and I couldn't accept myself for 16 years? Now I look in the mirror often, because I love what I'm doing. I love who I am. I love, period. I love life. I love you. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my mom. I love my family. I love my neighbor. I love the people I don't know. I love everyone. I love love. I just love. And inside of that, I'm going to look you in your face. I hope you look me back in mine. And I'm going to look in my own face. That's why I'm not ashamed anymore. I wouldn't even give people eye contact for years. I mean, and now looking back on it, I always thought, well, it's this saying that you're supposed to get eye contact so people will trust you. Do people really trust me? I didn't trust myself. And it makes so much sense today to me. But okay, that's the end of that tangent. I go on into Drum Major so you can understand why Drum Major means so much to me, and why it's so profound, and why I want to share this with you. I want to share this with you because it comes from my heart and soul. It comes from the true being of me, and it also shows you that no matter what we go through, no matter what happens to us in life, there's something in it for us. There's something in it for us. Every struggle, every situation is put in front of us for us to get better. Inside of that, let's do this Drum Major thing. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready to give it to you. Here we go. Brethren, I can't give you greatness, and really, I can't make you first. This is what Jesus said to James and John. You must earn it. True greatness comes not by favoritism, but by fitness. And the right and left are not mine to give. They belong to those who are prepared. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I have studied this statement and remarkable sermon for some time. I am thoroughly transcended each time I hear or read it. I find complete understanding in the message of this sermon. I have also learned that life is what you allow God to make it. You see, my story was once different. I changed my story because I was able to accept understanding over unchanging. My story is similar to others, but of course it is different in scenarios and situations. We all struggle, we all laugh, we all love, we all hate, just in different ways for the most part. As much as you and I are here in this prepared dictation, I'm merely under preparation. My journey is not mine to hold on to. I'm talking about the journey of being a servant. This is my author's introduction of my preparation of becoming a drum major. I have fallen along the way. I've stumbled today. God love picks me up and wipes me off. I could go on all day, but allow me now to explain. I am transcended because Dr. King tells of a journey of a drum major too. Sit tight. I'm willing to share it with you. The expert I referenced earlier is a brief passage from the sermon Dr. King delivered on February 4th, 1968. The sermon, which is titled The Drum Major Instinct, was shared with the world exactly 2 months, April 4th, 1968, before the great orator's assassination. The sermon in its entirety is drawn from an encounter between Jesus and the disciples. Dr. King points the congregation and those listening to Mark, the 10th chapter, in the 35th through the 45th verses. In the scripture, Jesus is addressing James and John's request to sit on his right and left in his reign of glory. In understanding, I comprehend the intrinsic conceptualization of Jesus' greatness as well as Dr. King. They individually, yet collectively, displayed their love for God through service. Garner neither the left nor right. They garnered to transcend God's love. They knew their seat was waiting. They were merely transitioning, fulfilling their preparation. Envision sitting with God. Would there be a care on what side? To see purpose is commendable, but being with purpose is heavenly. Dr. King travels on in his sermon by stating, and so Jesus gave us a new norm for greatness. If you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. That's your new definition of greatness. And this morning, the thing I like about it, by giving that definition of greatness, it means that everybody can be great because everybody can serve. Jesus and Dr. King both encompassed an unadulterated desire to serve God, a spiritual connection we all can transcend. The same God who they professed and served is the same God today. Jesus and Dr. King did not take God with them. Alternatively, they went to him, literally and spiritually. We all possess the ability to serve. God is limitless. Jesus and Dr. King emphasized and displayed this indisputable fact. With God, anything is possible. Hence, he is present for all. Believe and transcend greatness. The definition has been outlined. The examples revealed. The limitation is formulated in traditional standardization. Openly accept spiritual understanding. Release those limits and soar with everlasting truth. Sorry, I may get caught up along the way. As I stated previously, I'm transcendent each time I hear or read this inspirational sermon. Let us step back for a minute. Previously in the passage, Jesus states, the right and the left are for those who are prepared. Preparation is essential. In my personal spiritual understanding, Jesus was not merely just giving conceptual instructions. He was reflecting on his own journey. Dr. King recognizes this sentiment. In his sermon, he relays, if you want to be important, wonderful. If you want to be recognized, wonderful. If you want to be great, wonderful. But recognize that he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. Dr. King, much like Jesus, conceptualized there was no alternative route to serving God. As servants, they just served. A servant may be seen as a low-class statue. But is that true? Servants provide the stability of nations. Servants sustain the hope of the unknown. Servants lead by exemplifying selfless sacrifice. Yes, servants serve others. Fortunately, that is the blessing and understanding of servant. No, serving does not establish low class. It enables nations and individuals who encompass nations the privilege of witnessing God's love. The exemplification of Jesus and Dr. King outlines the mere premise. Crawling comes before walking. Walking comes before running. Serving comes before leading. In reality, can one follow if there's no example set forth by the servant? Maybe I'm not doing due diligence. Dr. King continues in his sermon, stating, he didn't have anything. He just went around serving and doing good. This morning, you can be on his right and his left hand if you serve. That is the only way in. As the transition takes place, please hold tight. Dr. King is relaying the outline Jesus transcended to the world, which Dr. King wholeheartedly followed. Dr. King is submitting to his mission as a servant. He outlines, follows, and initiates all humanity to serve. A servant following the outline of another servant, collectively initiating others to serve. Oh yes, two great servants, self-sacrificing Jesus and devoted Dr. King. I apologize. I am transcendent. I figured I would let you in on it this time. Two servants who set out to do God's will and serve. Tell me, where would we be without these servants? You cannot tell me a servant is low class. Oh no, I'm too full to believe that. If low class is what it may be, then low class is for me. Serving is the way. Go with me now. The drum major instinct is the lead. The way in is to serve. The mission then becomes to stand out front and serve. The reward is in the service, not in standing out front. The leader's position is void if there is no service. The leader must play the drums to feel the beat. The drum major is a servant of the band. The band as a whole serves the people. The people are outlined the way to travel on the rhythm of the band's example. We can all dance to the beat of the drums. We must serve. Dr. King reveals in his sermon with great compassion and conviction, yes, Jesus, I want to be on your right side or your left side, not for any selfish reasons. I want to be on your right or your best side, not in terms of some political kingdom or ambition, but I just want to be there in love and in justice and in truth and in commitment to others so that we can make this old world a new world. Servant is offering himself to servant. A definite definition of servant. The beauty in the above expert is both servants' desire was to share their father's love with the world. A love that has made men fisher of men. A love that showed a nation separate is not equal. A love that serves. I cannot keep my composure, yet the same exact love allows me to write on. A love that leads the band. A love that guides the drum major's lead. A love that transcends all to great. A love that makes this old world a new world. The love I speak of is transcended through service. We must serve. In Dr. King's elegant sermon, we hear of the journey of the drum major. In my journey, I'm able to now comprehend transcending the drum major. Yes, I fall down, but I continue to serve. I write my thoughts in hopes of the others engaging their own. I tell of my journey, optimistic others will relate. My heart is full of grace. My soul is free. I have chosen to serve. I understand the outline. I have taken initiation. I'm serving in my Father's will. I'm no different from you. I am who I am, and you are who you are. We all are God's children. We all can be great. We must serve. Can we not see it? We are on the cusp. Therefore, do not let anyone tell you different. There is reason for us. I will continue to journey along, and I will not be deterred. For if it's one thing we now know, I have chosen to serve. For added in a resounding measure collectively, we all must serve. Yes, I'm a drum major. We all are. Yes, you too. It's God's truth. Thank you. In delivering and sharing this with you, I want you to take, I would hope you would take this from it. It's a great joy for me today to be able to read that to you and also transcend everything I read. I didn't know at 8 that one day I would be a drum major. I realized in hearing it, it was something that was for me. Speed things up at 30. Once again, drum major showed up. It changed my whole outlook on life. I don't drink. I haven't drunk. I haven't had a drink in 5 years, and don't plan on having a drink in the next 5 to 10 to 15 to 20. I don't. It doesn't. That's not the importance anymore. I understand my importance. My importance, my journey in life is what it is, and I'm okay with that. And inside of being who I am and what I am, I now realize I'm a drum major, and you are too. With that, enjoy your day. Enjoy it.